My husband lectured me for an hour today without letting me speak. By no means am I 34F perfect. I had postpartum depression and primary progressive aphasia, with both children that would show up in bouts of rage towards my husband, 37M, or I'd collapse in tears multiple times in a day. Our children are 3 and 1 years old, and I've been a stay-at-home mom since our first child was born. Unfortunately, our first was born March 2020, and my husband flew cargo at the time. He did not get paternity leave, and my mom traveled back home out of state for fear of interstate lockdowns when he was just over a week. It was a very rough first couple of months trying to figure out motherhood during lockdown on my own, with a husband who was never home. I grew resentful towards him, and despite therapy, I was never able to vocalize my needs to him. I'd either start crying because was so emotional, or it would come out in a degrading way how he did not help when home. Thankfully, after a year, our gym opened their Child Watch program in spring 2021, and I was able to get a break a couple of times a week. Unsurprisingly, my depression and anxiety improved with this new outlet. I also began to make friends with similar interests, as well as making time again to see my old friends. That fall, our relationship improved, and I unexpectedly got pregnant. It was a rough pregnancy made worse by nearly constant fighting with my husband about needing more help because I was still exhausted from only getting breaks when I go to the gym. It was like a Band-Aid at first, but the truth was, I was burnt out and losing my patience. I went back and forth about keeping the pregnancy, but ultimately my husband would not pay for an abortion. Our second child was born in July 2022 and was healthy for the first few months. Unfortunately, they have a pulmonary condition which makes any upper respiratory infection potentially life-threatening. So I stopped going to the gym again to ensure their health because I had nobody to watch them while I went. Not because my husband was away working as a pilot. No, he lost his job on my birthday while I was 7 months pregnant. He then decides he's not going back to flying because he misses his family and is going to start his own business. He asks for 6 months in order to make it work before going back to flying. It is now November 2023, and he's still saying he can make it work and he's right there. But his partner is lazy, the manufacturer is screwing him, etc. Also, he now tells me he quit flying because he can't trust me with the kids while he's gone. He was fired for insulting his boss, who had to fly out to see him after an incident that week with his captain, and then laughing when told he was fired. This whole time, he has been working from home in our basement. He's helped even less with our second baby because I was unable to get them to take a bottle of pacifier. It's not his fault he doesn't have boobs to calm her. Again, I have grown angry and resentful. Despite continually upping my meds, which both my therapist and psychiatrist are nervous about because they don't want me to become complacent in this situation, and regular therapy sessions. Saturday night, our one yo was teething and could not sleep unless I held them, not normal at all. I was exhausted because I hardly slept. I began crying, not sobbing, but crying while I rocked her. My husband woke up twice and told me to shut up before finally getting out of bed to shower and go to the living room. I lost it. I just kept crying and became a shell of a person the rest of the weekend. I ruined the weekend with my bad attitude. Even when I tried to leave to do something on my own late Saturday morning, he tagged along and was a buzzkill. Sunday, I woke up feeling the same emptiness. Every time I looked at him, all I could hear were the insults he so easily hurls at me. Maybe something started to click this morning, and he actually tried being nice and asking what was wrong. Seems sweet and loving, right? Not when it's constantly denied, dismissed as being wrong. Obviously, after being told repeatedly that he does not give a fuck about my feelings because I'm just a negative person, I am bursting to share. No! Instead, I try to leave with the kids to do something fun, but he cleared the bank account. I come home steaming mad and am trying my best to shield the kids, but I can't. He's still telling me he's trying to listen, and I woke up grumpy again, so it's all my fault. Tired, I leave again just to drive around for an hour and find a few dollars to buy my kids a happy meal to split. After returning home and putting both kids down for a nap, he starts. He goes through the entire weekend while peppering random bits of our relationship that make him sound like a saint for putting up with such an angry and selfish person for so long. I check the time on my phone periodically while he wasn't looking, and he went off on me for an hour. During this time, I did not utter one word or even make a sound other than muffled sniffles. My crying infuriates him, which makes it worse. When he was done telling me how horrible I am and to leave again, he tries to ask me a series of questions. The moment I start to answer and point any negativity towards him, he cuts me off and gets upset. He cannot fathom that my confidence is wrecked, and I'm miserable because of insults I've made him say to me. After all, he even says I just make him so angry that he says hurtful things, but I made him angry. He started charging me for anything I want to buy other than food: hair dye at home, snacks, iCloud storage space for pictures, therapy, because I'm only telling my side and it's not working, etc. Because he found out I was selling things online. He knows I'm planning my escape, but I've got a support system if needed. Main concern is getting the kids out safely.